and welcome to the news on Sansad TV. I'm Isha Shah. Today is Mahashashti, the 6th day of the auspicious Navratri and Durga Puja festival that is being celebrated with much enthusiasm throughout the world. So before we begin, a quick look at the headlines. 5G services launched in the country. Prime Minister Modi says India has entered a new era, calls it the beginning of infinite opportunities. September GST revenues up 26% compared to August. For the 7th month in a row, collections cross rupees 1.4 lakh crore. Indore is India's cleanest city for the 6th time in a row. In the nationwide annual cleanliness survey, Madhya Pradesh gets the first place in the state category. India blocks Twitter account of the government of Pakistan for the 2nd time in 25 days. Supreme Court dismisses petition alleging that the design of national emblem atop the new Parliament building violates the State Emblem of India Act 2005. And now let's take a look at our flash news segment. New UGC guidelines allow higher educational institutions to set aside 25% seats for foreign students. 275th Annual Day celebrations of the Defence Accounts Department. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh launches many digital initiatives. Centre extends the Armed Forces Special Powers Act in 12 districts of Nagaland and Arunachal Pradesh for 6 months, in some parts of 5 other districts in the 2 states. Election Commission thanks elderly voters on International Day of Older Persons for their contribution towards strengthening democracy. India abstains on the UNSC resolution condemning Russia's referendums and annexation in Ukraine. Russia vetoes, 10 votes in favor of the resolution. India condemns the targeting of innocent students at educational places in Afghanistan. 19 people were killed in Friday's terror attack in Kabul. Life-size hologram of Gandhi's message on education projected during the panel discussion at United Nations. North Korea tests short-range ballistic missiles, 4th time that it conducted an arms test this week. Army Captain Ibrahim Traore announces coup in Burkina Faso, deposes Lieutenant Colonel Paul Henry Damiba for reported inability to deal with Islamist insurgency. Hurricane Ian lashes South Carolina in the 2nd U.S. landfall after leaving trail of destruction across Florida. The 5G revolution is here. Prime Minister Narendra Modi launched the 5G services at Pragati Maidan in New Delhi, calling it a step towards a new era with infinite opportunities. 5G offers speed multiple times faster than 4G, supports lag-free connectivity, and can enable billions of connected devices to share data in real time. Prime Minister Modi said that the launch of 5G services is a gift from the telecom industry to 130 crore Indians. He said that India has created history with the launch of 5G, as now the nation will not be dependent on any other country for technology. He asserted that with developments in technology and telecom, India will lead the 4th industrial revolution.
आज का है ऐतिहासिक अवसर एक राष्ट्र के तौर पर, भारत के एक नागरिक के तौर पर हमारे लिए नई प्रेरणा लेकर आया है। क्यों ना हम इस 5G टेक्नोलॉजी का उपयोग करके भारत के विकास को अभूतपूर्व गति दें। क्यों ना हम इस 5G टेक्नोलॉजी का इस्तेमाल करके अपनी अर्थव्यवस्था को बहुत तेजी से विस्तार दें। क्यों ना हम इस 5G टेक्नोलॉजी का इस्तेमाल करके अपनी प्रोडक्टिविटी में रिकॉर्ड वृद्धि करें।
Prime Minister Modi also declared open the 6th edition of the Indian Mobile Congress 2022. This is the largest technology forum in Asia. Speaking about Digital India, Prime Minister Modi said that its aim is to take technology to the common people. He reiterated that the government is working on the goal of Internet for all.
आज भारत मोबाइल फोन उत्पादन करने में दुनिया में नंबर 2 पर है। इतना ही नहीं, जो कल तक हम मोबाइल इंपोर्ट करते थे, आज हम मोबाइल एक्सपोर्ट कर रहे हैं, दुनिया को बेच रहे हैं।
Demonstrating the power of 5G, Prime Minister Modi test drove a car in Europe remotely from New Delhi. He drove the vehicle, which was physically located in Sweden, from the Ericsson booth at the India Mobile Congress. Union Minister for Communications, Electronics and IT, Ashwini Vaishnav, said that in the coming 6 months, 5G services will be available in over 200 cities. He asserted that attempts are being made to make it available in 80 to 90% of the country in the next 2 years.
अगले 6 महीने में जो कि फेज 1 कहा जाता है, उस फेज 1 में 6 महीने में कम से कम 200 से ज्यादा शहरों में 5G सर्विसेज अवेलेबल होगी। न केवल शहरों में बल्कि कस्बों में और ग्रामीण क्षेत्रों में भी 5G की सर्विसेज उपलब्ध होगी।
Now, the government has extended the Armed Forces Special Powers Act in 12 districts of Arunachal Pradesh and Nagaland for another 6 months. The application of disturbed area under the AFSPA has also been extended to other parts of 5 other districts of the 2 states. The move aims to facilitate anti-insurgency operations. A Home Ministry notification said that AFSPA has been extended in 9 districts of Nagaland, including Dimapur, Newland, Mon, Kifir, Noklak, among others. This will be applicable from today to 30th March next year. In addition, the government has also extended AFSPA in the areas falling within the jurisdiction of 16 police stations in 4 districts of Nagaland, including in Kohima. While Nagaland has a total of 16 districts, Arunachal Pradesh has 26. Moving on, the Supreme Court has dismissed the plea challenging the lion statue atop the Central Vista building. The Apex Court said that the look of the national emblem cast atop the new Parliament building does not violate the State Emblem of India Prohibition of Improper Use Act. The petition by the lawyers claimed that the lions were designed to be ferocious and aggressive, and the motto Satyameva Jayate was missing from the emblem. The Supreme Court bench said that it all depends on the mind of the person who is seeing it. Prime Minister Modi had earlier inaugurated the 9,500 kg bronze structure on the 11th of July. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh has said that the Defence Accounts Department plays a key role in nation building. Addressing its 275th Annual Day celebrations in New Delhi, Rajnath Singh said that the government allocated a total budget of 5.25 lakh crore rupees to the Defence Ministry in this year's budget. He called it a testament to the government's resolve towards bolstering national security.
आज देश एक नए विश्वास और संकल्प के साथ एक नई दिशा की ओर बढ़ रहा है और आज़ादी के अमृत काल में हमारा लक्ष्य 2047 तक भारत को एक सुपर पावर बनाना है और इस लक्ष्य की प्राप्ति सशक्त एवं आधुनिक डिफेंस फोर्सेस के बिना किसी भी सूरत में संभव नहीं है। इसके लिए जरूरी है कि डिफेंस फोर्सेस के पास पर्याप्त वित्तीय संसाधन हो और उनका ऑप्टिमम तरीके से यूटिलाइजेशन की हो।
Now, GST collections remained above rupees 1.4 lakh crores for the 7th month in a row at rupees 1.47 crores in September. It was a 26% increase over last year, reflecting buoyancy in tax collections and stability of the GST portal. The ongoing festive season is also expected to push up collections in the coming months. GST collections touched a record rupees 1.67 lakh crores in April, while in August they were over rupees 1.43 lakh crores. Revenues for September 2022 were 26% higher than those recorded in the same period last year. Indore is the cleanest city of the country for the 6th time in a row, while Madhya Pradesh has topped among states in the Swachh Sarvekshan 2022. President Draupadi Murmu honored the cleanest states and cities at an event in New Delhi today. Tripura got an award in the small states category. Haridwar is the cleanest Ganga town in the category of more than 1 lakh population. Devlali in Maharashtra was adjudged the country's cleanest cantonment board.
मेरा सुझाव है कि इंदौर शहर के निवासियों ने द्वारा अपनाए गए जन भागीदारी के मॉडल को पूरे देश में अपनाने का प्रयास होने चाहिए। स्वच्छ भारत सर्वेक्षण द्वारा राज्यों और शहर के बीच स्वच्छता के लिए सख्त प्रतिस्पर्धा का बढ़ावा मिल रहा है। इस वर्ष के सर्वेक्षण में 4000 से अधिक शहरों में लगभग 9 करोड़ देशवासियों ने भाग लिया है।
And now, a look at some other key developments from across the nation. Senior Congress leader Mallikarjun Kharge has resigned from the post of Leader of Opposition in the Rajya Sabha. He has sent his resignation letter to Congress President Sonia Gandhi. In this, he wrote that he has taken this step according to the principle of one person, one post. The RBI's card on file tokenization rule has kicked in from today. It mandates that merchants, e-commerce websites and apps and other service providers will no longer be allowed to store customers' card data on their servers. This mechanism has been implemented to secure the card information of the merchant, payment aggregator and payment gateway customers. Taxpayers filing their income tax returns from today will not be able to take advantage of the Atal Pension Yojana. So citizens whose income is more than rupees 2.5 lakh rupees will not be able to invest in the Atal Pension Yojana. The state-run oil retailers on Saturday slashed prices of the aviation turbine fuel and commercial liquefied petroleum gas, that is the LPG. Jet fuel price was slashed by 4.5% and that of commercial LPG used in hotels and restaurants was cut by rupees 25.5 per 19 kg cylinder. Tributes were paid to former Lok Sabha Speaker GMC Balayogi in the Central Hall of Parliament on his birth anniversary. Members of Parliament and former MPs paid the tributes along with the Secretary General of the Lok Sabha. A massive avalanche struck the mountains behind the Kedarnath Dham in the Himalayan region of Uttarakhand this morning. The giant glacier behind the Kedarnath was broken for the second time since the last month and appeared like a watershed from distance. However, no damage was caused to the temple or to any persons. Time for a short break in the bulletin. Lots more coming up on the other side. Do stay tuned.
Foreign policy matters more than ever before in our interdependent, globalized world. And to get an in-depth analysis of all that is happening in India's external relations, tune into Diplomatic Dispatch. So keep watching Diplomatic Dispatch only on Sansad Television.
Welcome back. Time now for all the updates from the Russia-Ukraine war front. The Western nations have condemned Russia's annexation of 4 regions of Ukraine. US and Albania moved a resolution in the UNSC declaring the Russian referendums as illegal and invalid. However, Russia vetoed the resolution, while China, India, Brazil and Gabon abstained from voting. Here are the details.
Russia vetoed a UN Security Council resolution condemning Moscow's proclaimed annexation of 4 Ukrainian territories on Friday. Moved by the US and Albania, the resolution declared the referendums as illegal and invalid. It also urged all countries not to recognize any annexation of the territory claimed by Moscow. The resolution also demanded an immediate halt to Russia's invasion of Ukraine and withdrawal of Russian troops. Ahead of the vote, US Ambassador Linda Thomas-Greenfield said that if Russia vetoes, the resolution will be taken to the 193-member General Assembly, where there are no vetoes. Condemning the annexation, US President Joe Biden said that Putin's act is a sign that he is struggling. He also warned Russia that the United States will defend every inch of NATO territory.
The United States is never going to recognize this. And quite frankly, the world's not going to recognize it either. He can't seize his neighbor's territory and get away with it. It's as simple as that. And they're going to stay the course. They're going to continue to provide military equipment so that Ukraine can defend itself and its territory and its freedom, including additional resources that the Congress is going to give me today of $13 billion more to help the Ukrainians defend themselves and fight back.
In a swift and severe response, US announced sanctions for more than 1,000 people and firms connected to Russia's invasion, including its central bank governor. The European Union said its 27 member states will never recognize the illegal referendums held as a pretext for further violation of Ukraine's independence, sovereignty and territorial integrity. NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg termed the annexation as the most serious escalation of the conflict yet.
This land grab is illegal and illegitimate. NATO allies do not and will not recognize any of this territory as part of Russia. We call on all states to reject Russia's blatant attempts at territorial conquest. These lands are Ukraine.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky announced that Kiev was formally applying for fast-track membership of NATO military alliance. Zelensky also accused Russia of brazenly rewriting history and redrawing borders using murder, blackmail, mistreatment and lies. Bureau Report, Sansad TV.
And now, news from some other parts of the globe. Bulgaria will be having its fourth general election since April 2021. Energy is on the top of the agenda in the elections to be held on Sunday that is expected to send up to 8 political parties to parliament, producing a fractured mandate, according to opinion polls. Let's find out more in this report.
Bulgarians will go to the polls for the fourth time in less than 2 years in a general election, overshadowed this time by the conflict in Ukraine, rising energy costs and a soaring inflation. Candidate and former Prime Minister Petkov is confident that Sunday's vote will yield positive results for his We Continue, the Change Party. Pollsters expect that voters' fatigue and disillusionment with the political system will result in low turnout and a fragmented parliament where populist and pro-Russian groups could increase their representation. The snap elections come after a coalition led by Petkov lost a no-confidence vote in June. He claimed that Moscow used hybrid war tactics to bring down his government after it refused to pay gas bills in rubles and ordered the expulsion of 70 Russian diplomatic staff from Bulgaria. Latest opinion polls suggest that up to 7 parties could pass the 4% threshold to enter parliament in a contested vote on Sunday. Despite fallback in support for the GERB party of former Prime Minister, in previous elections it is tipped now to finish first. A recent Gallup International survey ranked GERB first with 25.9%, followed by its main rival, Petkov's We Continue, the Change Party, with 19.2%. Deep conflicts between the main parties make it almost impossible to form a viable coalition government, which would prolong the political impasse and add more economic woes in the poorest EU member country. Bureau Report, Sansad TV.
Now, Brazilians are also voting for the next leader on Sunday. The contest is between President Jair Bolsonaro and Da Silva, also known as Lula. For the voters, the contest concerns some basic issues like hunger and the cost of living. Take a look at this report.
The spectre of hunger hangs over Brazil's presidential race this year. Rampant inflation and fallout from the pandemic have pushed food insecurity to levels nearly unrecognizable a decade ago. 1 in 3 Brazilians say they have struggled recently to feed their families. Trailing in the polls and eager to offer relief, President Jair Bolsonaro dribbled budget rules to boost Brazil's main welfare program by 50%. But that has failed to move the needle so far. Opinion surveys show his support among the poorest Brazilians flat or flagging. Most people said they are pulling off his left-wing rival, former President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva, who slashed hunger and extreme during his 2003 to 2010 presidency. Just 8 years ago, Brazil hits UN target for eliminating widespread malnourishment ahead of schedule. Since then, the share of Brazilians who say they cannot feed their families in the past 12 months has more than doubled to 36% according to a think tank. Average income of poor Brazilians has fallen to levels of 10 years ago, widening the country's stark social inequality. Bureau Report, Sansad TV.
The Twitter account of the government of Pakistan in India has been blocked for the second time within 25 days. Earlier, it was blocked on the 7th of September. This means that now the Twitter account of the government of Pakistan will not open in India. Twitter India took this step after a legal demand made by the Indian government. EU member countries agreed on Friday to impose emergency levies on energy firms' windfall profits and begin talks on their next move to tackle Europe's energy crunch, possibly a bloc-wide gas price cap. Here's a report. European Union energy ministers on Friday were set to approve emergency levies on windfall profits for energy firms and launch talks on the next move to tackle Europe's energy crunch, possibly a gas price cap. The EU executive already suggested a Russian gas price cap earlier this month, but shelved the idea after resistance from Central and Eastern European countries worried that Moscow would retaliate by cutting off the remaining gas it still sends to them. Some member states, notably Germany, remain opposed to the gas price cap. Energy ministers from the 27 EU member countries are negotiating measures proposed by Brussels last week to attempt to contain an energy price surge that is stoking record high inflation and threatening a recession. The propositions put up by the Commission on the table include a levy on fossil fuel companies' surplus profits made in 2022 or 2023, another levy on excess revenues that low-cost power producers make from soaring electricity costs, and a mandatory 5% cut in electricity use during peak price periods. Bureau Report, Sansad TV. Time now for a quick look at our World Wrap segment. Iranian media said up to 19 people, including a commander in the paramilitary Revolutionary Guard, were killed by an attack by armed separatists on a police base in the city of Zahedan. It was not immediately clear if the attack was related to the nationwide anti-government protests gripping Iran. The separatists concealed themselves among worshippers at a mosque. European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen and other European leaders held talks in Sofia on Saturday before the launch of a gas link between Greece and Bulgaria. In late April, Russia had cut off gas supplies to Bulgaria after it refused Moscow's demand to pay for the deliveries in rubles, Russia's currency. North Korea on Saturday test-fired 2 short-range ballistic missiles. It was the 4th round of weapon launches this week. South Korean president said that North Korea's obsession with nuclear weapons is deepening the suffering of its own people. He warned it would face an overwhelming response if it uses its nuclear weapons. Bosnia is preparing for a general election on Sunday. The elections include races for different levels of government that are part of one of the world's most complicated institutional setups agreed upon in a US-sponsored peace agreement. The peace pact ended more than 3.5 years of bloodshed in the 1990s between Bosnia's ethnic groups. UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres and other officials from other countries extended their congratulations to China on the 73rd anniversary of its foundation. A grand flag-raising ceremony was held at the Tiananmen Square in Beijing on Saturday to mark the occasion. After trumpet soldiers sounding their clarions, the national flag was escorted into the square by the members of the Chinese People's Liberation Army Guard of Honor. Time now for all the latest from the world of sports. India defeated Sri Lanka by 41 runs in their first match of the Women's Asia Cup. India scored 150 for 6, batting first. Jemima Rodrigues scored 76. Chasing India's total, Sri Lanka were all out for 109. Hemlata took 3 wickets. India's men in blue will take on South Africa in the second T20 International in Guwahati on Sunday. Rohit Sharma's men are leading the series 1-0, having won the first encounter in Thiruvananthapuram. Though Pakistan lost the 6th T20 International against England, its captain Babar Azam has equalled Virat Kohli's record in reaching 3,000 T20 international runs. Both batters did it in 81 innings and are the quickest to reach the milestone among 5 to reach there. A masterclass from Jamal Musiala helped Bayern Munich thump hapless Bayer Leverkusen 4-0 at home on Friday. Novak Djokovic overcame a tough test on Friday at the Tel Aviv Watergun Open tournament, winning the match 7-6, 6-3. An Olympic fencer, Bhavani Devi, won the women's Sabar competition in Gandhinagar, earning her the 3rd consecutive National Games gold medal. Well, that's a wrap of the bulletin this weekend. Stay tuned to Sansad TV for all the latest updates around the clock. Do share with us your feedback on our social media platforms. Thank you for watching. Good night.